Okay, welcome back. Let's do something a bit more interesting. So what we're going to do here is, if you remember, this is the x and the y-axis right here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to change this from an I to an x. And what that is going to do is it's going to make this x, this is going to be replaced every time it runs through the loop. It's going to be replaced by a new number. So let me show you how this works. So I'm just going to change this y to 0. So that means y is going to be at 0. So it's going to run through the program once. So it's going to replace this x right here with 0 because this range right here starts at 0, goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It doesn't actually go to 10. Like I said in the video before, it goes up to the number 10, so 0 through 9. So it runs through the program, replaces this x with 0, runs through the program, replaces this x with 1, runs through the program, replaces the x with 2, runs through the program, replaces this x with 3, until it gets up to 9. And what that means is it's going to change the x position on this right here. And if you remember, the x position is from left to right here. So every time it runs through the program, it's going to change the x position. Let's see what that actually looks like. So I'm just going to click play. And if you look at the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so you can see it actually runs all the way up from 0 through 9. Now, if I was to switch this around, so let's just to keep this simple, I'm going to put this at y, and I am going to change that to 0, and I'll change this to y. Now it's going to replace the y with 0, the y with 1, the y with 2, the y with 3. So let's see what that looks like. So I'm just going to go down here, and that should run up my board. There you go, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so what happens if we run another for loop? So let's try this. So let's do the x in range. And let's just do 10 again to keep them the same. And what happens if we replace x and y? One thing you're going to notice here, if I try and run this, and this shouldn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work. And you'll see if I look down at this bottom part here in my shell, it'll tell you when you have an error. And you can see I had a previous error here. And it says syntax error, expected and indented block. And if you look back on my code here, if you recall, everything underneath a for loop has to be indented. And these lines are not indented. And you can see here, it says it expects an indented block, but there is not one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to indent each one of these lines. So I'm just going to go to that one. I'm going to hit tab on my keyboard, and that will push it out. I'm going to hit this one, and I'm going to hit tab. Tab is essentially 4 spaces. So tab, go back here, hit tab, go back here, and hit tab. Okay, now let's try and run this code and see what we get. So if I hit play, okay, so it is actually going up, and I don't know, it's kind of a bit hard to see with the light. Let's see if I can change the light here a bit. It's actually going up the board. It's going up the x-axis. So it's going along y10, and it's going up the board one at a time. So in this code right here, it's running through the y. So it's running through the x-axis. So it's going along 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And when it reaches 10, it's going up 1 in the y. So every time it's going up, and it's completed its cycle up to 10 there. So you can play around with that. You can change these numbers. You can change these to like 16, 8, and mess around, of course, with the colors in here too. But have some fun with this little piece of code right here. It's a great way to start out understanding the in-range functions here, and understanding how the for loops work. If you wanted it to go forever, and I'll just throw this in here, you could actually toss in a while true loop, and yet again you'd have to indent everything, and you can see I'm having to indent everything in. And just running through that really quickly here. Okay, indent, 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 indent. And if I run this now, it will not stop. It will just run this loop forever. And it will keep on doing that same thing over and over and over again because I have a while true loop at the top and combined in with these 4 in range loops. Okay, hopefully this has been helpful, and play around with those numbers and have some fun.